I love The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is a masterfully crafted piece of art that has inspired me as both an aspiring filmmaker and storyteller. It can be hard as a Star Wars fan because there's so much hostility and mouth breathing in the fan base. The conversation has shifted from being, oh, you like Star Wars? Me too, to, oh, you like Star Wars? Which ones? But no matter which movie you like, and all the reasons you're brain dead for liking it, one thing pretty much all of us can agree on is that The Mandalorian is pretty goddamn good. But the thing about good stories is that they have to end. The whole point of telling a story is to teach something, to leave your audience thinking and getting a takeaway out of it. When stories wrap up, but then continue without anything more to say or add, they become empty and they fall apart. I really don't want that for The Mandalorian, and I think The Mandalorian should quit while it's ahead. For those of you who don't know, the finale to Season 2 recently just dropped, and it was everything I ever wanted and more. I followed this show for 2 years. I saw a man save a baby from being murdered by an evil robot, not because it was the right thing to do, but because the man knew exactly what it's like to be young and helpless and have the barrel of a laser gun pointed right at you. I saw as that same man stopped protecting the baby out of empathy, but because he came to love and care for him as if he were his own child. I watched as the man became anything the baby needed him to be, and how when the baby's safety was compromised, he was willing to sacrifice anything and everything, including the religious values and practices the man believed in and kept so close to his heart. And I watched as the man had to let his foster child go, because his presence in the child's life would only hinder the path he was on. Much like how eventually we all have to leave the comfort of home and our parents, because we need to learn to survive and thrive on our own, without them. The Mandalorian was a story about fatherhood. Our protagonist, Din Djarin, learned what it means to be a dad, and ensured that the child was best suited as possible to go on without him. The ultimate goal of a parent. Yet his story is going to continue. Why? The child leaving with the Last Jedi in the Season 2 finale is effectively the end of that story about fatherhood. If they bring him back for Season 3, it'll be cheap, and it'll undermine a lot of the content and sacrifice in Season 2. Yet, even if they don't bring him back and try to reinvent the show with a new big theme, I don't think it'll ever come close to how heartwarming and beautiful the story we already have is. While the fights with the remaining leadership of the Empire was super interesting and engaging, and the returning Star Wars characters and their carried subplots were cool and fun, at the heart of it all was the relationship between the child and Mandalorian Din Djarin, and now that their journey together is over, I think it should be time to close the book on this corner of Star Wars. The loose cliffhanger plot threads we were left with about the struggle for the throne of Mandalore didn't really matter to me as much as the thematic heart of this show, which was wrapped up. I'm not trying to say you should boycott The Mandalorian. I'm just saying that these first 2 seasons were amazing. Perfect, to a degree, and I'm not really interested in seeing Din Djarin's story go on unless it's a small role in one of the other 5 Star Wars spin-off shows Disney's producing. Nothing will ever top Jedi Master Luke Skywalker showing up to take the child under his wing for me. I'm just a consumer who really believes in finality, and no matter what comes after, for me this season's finale will always be the definitive, perfect ending to The Mandalorian. The place it really should end. It doesn't need any more seasons, and I wish it would just end here and live on immortally as one of the best Star Wars stories ever told, instead of pumping out a couple more seasons that are mediocre in comparison because it's successful and makes people keep their Disney Plus subscriptions. But I can always just stop watching, and if you disagree with me and you can't wait for Season 3, that's good. I hope it's everything you dream and more. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have a great Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or just a great holiday season in general, and an even better end of the year. Good night.